Do you want to know one of the easiest zero-cost ways to get listings in this year-end time? I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to get listings, and it just requires a very simple question when you get on the phone with these peeps. This is the end of the year, and guess who is evaluating their stock portfolio, their investment portfolio, their rental income portfolio? That's right, it's out-of-area owners. Out-of-area owners right now, because of tax purposes and financial planning purposes, are literally asking, what should I be doing with my investments? You know, it could be for a variety of reasons, all right? I literally had a guy who, he had a 4-unit building, I'll never forget this, on Oak Street in San Francisco. And as I recall, I think he lived on the East Coast or something, and he had moved to the East Coast, and he had kept these units, this 4-unit building, for many, many years. And when I first initially called him, he said he didn't really know if he wanted to sell it. And I said to him, okay, why don't you check with your CPA and give it some thought, and I'll give you a call back in a week and see, you know, what do you think the best course of action for yourself is? So sure enough, I called him back in a week, and he said to me, he said, Chris, absolutely, I need to sell. I don't have any more depreciation deductions to take, and quite frankly, 2 out of the 4 tenants are a pain in the ass. Those were his exact words. I'll never forget this. This was about 3 years ago. And so I listed this 4-unit building. It didn't cost me any money to get this listing. I listed it for sale, and I have a side story about that too. One of the tenants was paying below market rent and then stopped paying rent, and the owner wanted to buy him out, just get him out of the building. And it cost the owner $100,000. This tenant was a really famous chef in San Francisco who worked at a restaurant downtown, and he wouldn't leave. And he really put the screws to the landlord, to the owner of the building. He had to pay $100,000. But I told the owner it was worth it, because when we signed the listing, having that unit vacant, he could then get market rents. And so it was well worth it, $100,000. He probably got $200,000-$300,000 more when he sold the property. But this is a great story. It's a great example of how you can get easy listings with somebody who is thinking about selling their property because either terrible tenants, low rents, depreciation deduction's gone. It just doesn't make sense as part of their portfolio to own that particular property. So you're not bothering these people. You're just joining the conversation they have in their head. Because they're having that conversation. Every owner of investment property is having that conversation right now. If it's year end, they're thinking about it in relation to their financial planning, to their own personal portfolio, and quite frankly, to taxes. And they know that they may have to do something with taxes. So they may want to sell something right away, you know, and it makes them the perfect motivated seller. So what you want to do is just call out-of-area owners right now, especially right now, and do this through the end of the year. Get some listings under your belt so you can make this January the best year or month of your life. Make these calls, and just very simple question to ask sellers, landlords, owners, and that is, do you want a property valuation? That's it. That is a great entree question to get owners of out-of-area owners talking about how their property is doing, you know, what's going on with the property, what's working, what's not working. And I can't even tell you how many listings I listed. I actually listed a beautiful, weird house. It was a multi-million-dollar house, and the owner was in South Africa, and the house was at one of the highest peaks in San Francisco. It was a weird house, and I called this guy in South Africa, and I says, hey, listen, you know, talk about an out-area owner, you can't get much further than that. And we went back and forth. It literally took probably 3 or 4 calls over the course of 6 months. but I eventually listed the house for sale. This is an amazing way for you to find motivated sellers that want to sell. And if you do this quickly, you can get something on the market and maybe even get it closed by the end of the year. And that would really significantly increase your current year production. So definitely call out of area owners. Just ask them if they want a market valuation. If they say no, ask them how the building is doing. Try to start a conversation all around the tenants, around their tax deductions, around the rents, around the condition of the property. Does the property need a lot of work? So start that conversation with out of area owners today.